Hi guys. So I've been wanting to do this for a really long time, and today's the day. So what we're doing is we're using this triangle that I got basically from my son's neighbor's yard, and it used to be in a floral shop. And my plan is that we're going to make boxes that fit perfectly on these levels, and it's going to be a gigantic strawberry pyramid. That way it'll keep the strawberries off of the ground and they'll kind of cascade over, and I think it's going to be awesome. So we went ahead and we built a box out of, my husband cut down some 2x8 by 12s.
2 by 12 by 12.
2 by 12 by 12 redwood, treated wood. And then we attached it with these corners. And then we fit it in, and we also covered the bottom with gopher cage material so that we can keep the critters out, because we were having a real significant problem with gophers actually. So anyways, went ahead and I've been clearing. So this ground has all been cleared. It looked exactly like this, and I've been trying to level and clear, and I made a berm around my mango tree, which looks like it still is struggling with some kind of a disease. It looks like a fungus, so I'm gonna have to get something to treat this with. But yeah, so I'm gonna fill this with dirt. I'm going to plant it with the bottom level with strawberries, and then we're gonna be working on the upper layers. And then over in this area, we haven't cleared it completely. It's a disaster over here because I've got bags that have the rocks in them over here, and we're gonna have to take those back. But anyways, this is gonna have a really long box, and I'm gonna also cover it with the wire so that the gophers stay out of it. But I'm gonna make this into some permanent type plants that I don't rotate every year, because the ones that are permanent, they tend to get really large and they take up the whole garden. So that's what my plan is. I think I'm gonna have a raspberry vine, and I'm gonna have some asparagus, strawberries, things that I can, keep going all year round. I have one really large bed right here, which we're gonna use for asparagus, and then probably potatoes. I'm gonna probably do potatoes over there. This is gonna be for strawberries. We're gonna do a strawberry tower. I'm gonna have my husband either put strawberry boxes inside here or hanging off the side, going all the way around, so that they can hang down and not get dirty. Down below, we're gonna put blueberries, because I think the blueberries will like getting a little bit of shade. And then over here is gonna be a raspberry bed. And my husband makes these trellises, and he's gonna build me 2 more to go alongside here, and then we're gonna have raspberries growing up the trellises. So we built these boxes out of the treated lumber here, and we used the castle blocks, and then we lined them with this mesh, and this is to keep the gophers out. And then we stapled it to the side here, and so I still have a lot of things to do out here. There's a ton. I have to cover this whole area with lead block and then more rock so that it matches what I have going on over here. And then this is all I'm going to do this year, but I have more plans to go to the fence line with more vegetable beds. Hi. So this is really exciting. We are still progressing on the garden, and we now have drip. So over here I planted ginger root, and I have 2 raspberries. One that was a bare root that I got from Home Depot, and it looks good, and the other one is a transplant that doesn't look so hot right now. I think it's in shock, because I took it from the area in the backyard that was shady, and it was dying anyway, so I thought, well, what the heck, I'll try it and see if it comes back to life. Over here, this is where I planted the blueberry bush. And like I said before, we're going to have strawberries on the cage. So we'll be designing like boxes to put on here, and then we'll have strawberries all the way around. This is a pineapple, because pineapples are perennials as well. And so I only have one that I actually started from the top of a pineapple, and it actually rooted, and so I'm gonna see how it does in this bed, and if it does well, I'm gonna get some more and plant them, maybe 6 of them in this little area. And then over here, I have 4 asparagus roots, and so I put them in this little section right here, but I plan on getting more asparagus because it's one of my favorites. And it does take a long time to mature. You're actually, after you plant them, you have to wait like 2 to 3 years before you actually start harvesting it, because you want to let the energy from the shoots actually go back down into the rhizome, because the crowns are what control how much, I guess, strength you have to your plants. Anyways, I was doing some research on it, and that's a long time to wait, but in the meantime, you can harvest like 1 or 2 or 3, but not, you can't do a whole big harvest. You gotta like let it go back into the ground to give energy to the root. And so these 3 beds are as far as I'm gonna go this year. The next step is to put the black weed guard down, and then I'm gonna put more rock just so that it matches what I have on the other side there. And then following year, we're gonna have more beds over in this area, maybe a cut flower garden, not sure, shed here, and my dirt lockers. I'm not sure if I showed that to you or not, but we did buy several plants to put over on the right hand side. And oh yeah, I remember talking to it. So yeah, so we're still working on getting the rest of that done, but it's like 90 degrees, and I don't have a lot of energy when it's 90 degrees out. I just do what I can. So, but I'll be out again in the morning to continue working on putting the black paper down for the weed block, and then we're going to order rock and start that. But it took about 20, maybe not 20, maybe 15 wheelbarrows per box, and you have to go like so far, and walk up and down a hill and everything else. So it was a lot of work, but I got it done, and I'm glad I did. And so anyways, it's going to be exciting. I'm happy that we got this put in, and I'm excited to see what harvest I get. 2 tomatoes today, and I harvested a bunch of garlic the other day, and bell peppers are coming up, and my corn is a few days from being picked, and so got a lot of stuff coming up in the garden. It's awesome. All right, thanks guys. Okay, so the strawberry tower is almost complete. We have a few little minor adjustments to make, but as you can see, I've already planted up the strawberries and put drip line. So I have drip coming from the bottom, this bottom box that has the blueberry in it, and then I came up the legs, and I teed off over here and made little round oblong drip emitters, and I made them in a circle so that they would drip all the way around the plant. What I did is I bought 2 strawberry plants, and inside the strawberry plants there was about 5 or 6 plants that I was able to just divide and put in. So I actually have not transplanted any of the strawberries I have in my other beds yet, but I plan on doing that for the 2 empty ones, but I think I have plenty for up here. So I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out, how it does. They all have automatic water. They'll be watered 3 times a week for about 30 minutes, as well as everything else out here. So we'll see how it goes, but I think it's going to be really cool. Hi guys. So I thought it was a good time to do a little garden update, since I have a few weeks with some of the new plants in the ground and some new developments. So up here you can see where I have my vining plants that they're doing extremely well in the dirt lockers. And I've got a ton of fruit development in here. This is watermelon, and there's a lot of little watermelons growing off of that. This is going to be the butternut squash, which I don't have any butternut squash yet, but it's coming. And then over here I've got the little pumpkins growing, and these are these are supposed to be small. They're wee bit little, so they're small pumpkins. And then the cucumber is going nuts. I have two varieties over there. I have a regular cucumber, then I have the English cucumber, and they're both like producing massive amounts of cucumber, more than I can use. And then over on this side, I planted these after I planted that, and some of them are taking, and then some of these I didn't fill them all up with starters. I started some seeds. So this one is started from seed, and this is going to be arugula, and this is another watermelon, and that's another that's a lemon. No, that's a Boston pickling cucumber, and I grew some chamomile, which is starting to flower, and then that one over there is the cone flower, the echinacea, and that one's kind of doing moderately, not that great. And some of the seeds that I put in don't look like they're gonna sprout. I had some loofah that didn't come up. So there's a couple that didn't happen here, but that's okay because I have so much production going over on the other side. Now, I had mentioned that my mango tree was really suffering, and it really was. Like, so I took a sample of a leaf down to Anderson's, which is a local nursery in our area, and he looked at it and he said that it does look like there could be a fungus, but he also thought that it was more about the watering. And he told me because it's a tropical plant that it needs to be deep watered, and so I have not been doing a deep watering, but I started to deep water it, and man, it just really is happy now. I have all this new growth, and they all look clean and good. The leaves don't look diseased. And he also gave me some spray for the fungus that had come up, but he said if you deep water it from below, it'll get healthy and it won't be susceptible to the fungus anymore. I mean, you won't have as much fungus. So I sprayed it, and I've been deep watering it once a week for about an hour, just putting the hose down there to give it a good watering. So that worked. So that's a really good tip that I got from them. And then over here, I've been I bought this cattle panel here, and I planted beans. Now these are the Japanese purple beans, and these at first they were growing really slowly, but now they're really taken off, and they haven't started to produce beans yet, but they're climbing up quite rapidly. And I just keep training them up the fence so that they'll keep growing over and up and over. And then on this side, I'm not sure what happened to these two. I had two regular green bean plants, and one of them looks actually anemic. I just got done giving it some more fertilizer to see if that will green it up, and it's growing slow. At first I thought this was going to be the producer, but it just kind of petered out on me. I'm not really sure what happened. And then over here, I've been harvesting tomatoes like crazy, and I've been canning all kinds of stuff. I've done sauce and whole tomatoes. I've just done a whole bunch of relishes, and so I've used probably, I would have to say, at least 50-60 pounds of tomatoes so far from the garden, just using it for sauces and stuff like that. Next thing, when these turn red, I'm going to do some salsa, and I'm also going to do pizza sauce. So that has been good. I also harvested some garlic, and I've been really enjoying the garlic. It's so flavorful. Some of these I think still need to go a little bit longer. You can kind of tell when to harvest these when they start to die off, and these are getting there, but they're still kind of green, so I'm going to let them go a little bit longer. It generally takes, I believe, 8 months to a year for garlic to really mature. And then I had a huge artichoke plant here, and you can see the remnant of it, and I harvested them, and they started to go bad, so I cut it all the way back. It started to shoot up again, but it's kind of not happy. I don't think it's been too hot out here. And then over here I planted potatoes, but they haven't sprouted yet. I just cut some potatoes up and put them in the ground. Wait and see how that goes. And then it's looking kind of sad because it's been really hot out here, and I've been giving them extra water, but you can see these are all burned. You can still use them, but they just don't look pretty. So my bell peppers are really struggling. The ones that are kind of in the interior or on the shadier side of the yard are looking better, but they're small. I think these are the snacking bell peppers. So yeah, there's a lot in here, but they're not looking that great. The zucchini, I've been harvesting off of that and using it for all kinds of different things. There's one in here right now, but it's small still. Probably by tomorrow it'll be huge. But yeah, there's another one developing right here. So there's that's been steady. Over here I also have another update. This is the raspberry that I took out from the backyard and moved it over here, and it actually did start to come back. So it sprouted up all this nice new green here, and this one looks like it's happy here. It's starting to grow new tentacles growth, so that looks good. And then the strawberry tower, it's kind of half and half, because some of these I transplanted from another spot in the garden over here, and then some were actually plants. But see how it's just kind of draping out over the edge? That's kind of what I hope will happen maybe next year, and we'll have like a lot of strawberries just kind of hanging over the sides of the planters. And then my other I had planted a lot of failures, but I planted asparagus in here, but I think I let the asparagus sit too long on my inside my house, and they didn't look healthy when I put them in the ground, but I thought I would try it, but nothing has come up. So I'm going to have to buy some new asparagus roots and put them in there. And then this was one pineapple that I had started from the top of a pineapple, and I put it in a pot, and I babied it up on by my house and put it in the ground, and it's still doing really well. And then I tried to I bought some other pineapples, and I'm going to see if they will take. So far it's not looking great, but we'll see. They don't feel like they've rooted. Maybe this one possibly, but when this typically happens, they turn brown on the outside, and then you'll start getting some fresh green stuff coming out the center. But these don't seem to have anything happening. They just feel like they're just sitting on top of the dirt, basically. So we'll see how that goes. And the pomegranate tree is looking super happy. Got a lot of pomegranates over here. They're all over the place on the tree. So the next thing is we're gonna buy some gravel to put on the ground, and that will pretty much complete this area, other than some extra plants that I might plant in the dirt lockers or in these planters where there's empty areas. So that's it.